is number 54. It's the second math problem out of 3 in the practice test for the first chemistry exam. And it asks you to convert 24.61 meters to feet, and then it gives you a couple of conversions. 12 inches equals 1 foot, and 2.540 centimeters equals 1 inch. So I've written down that you're given the 24.61 meters. What you're supposed to find is that same distance in feet and the two conversions that you're given. So in a perfect world, we would just be able to set up our ratio, meters to feet equals meters to feet. But we don't have a conversion in this case that takes us directly from meters to feet. We've got a couple other conversions. We've got inches to feet and we've got centimeters to inches. And so if we could get from meters to centimeters, then we could go centimeters to inches and inches to feet, and we'd be there in 3 steps instead of 1. They did not give you the conversion of between centimeters and meters. In this case, I think they're expecting you to know that. If you don't know it, it's always something that you can ask Siri. How many centimeters in a meter?
100 centimeters.
Okay. And the reason they didn't give it to you is that is one of the kind of easy, common ones that they do want you to know. But since it's open book and open whatever resources you have, you actually don't need to worry as much about memorizing these kind of conversions. So then we can't use this meters to feet, meters to feet. We're going to have to do it in these 3 steps that I've got outlined down here. Okay, so first we're going to take the meters that we're given, and so that's 24.61 meters, and we're going to be converting that to centimeters. It's our first step, so even though our answer needs to be in feet, we're going to right now put our x, our unknown, as centimeters, because we know our first step has to be to go from meters to centimeters so that we can then go to inches and then to feet. And so that conversion is 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. And so, like we've done for the other problems, now we're going to take the 2 numbers that are across from each other, divide by whatever number is left, and that is going to equal our centimeters. So for that, it's going to be 24.61 times 100 is going to be 2,461. We're going to then divide that by 1. Divided by 1 doesn't change it. And because our units down here with our x are centimeters, that's what we have for our centimeters here. And then I've got the next ratio set up for centimeters over inches equals centimeters over inches. So now we're going to carry through our answer from part 1 and plug that in for our centimeters. 2461 centimeters equals, and now we're trying to get it into inches, so inches is now our unknown. And now we can use this ratio, 2.540 centimeters is equal to 1 inch. Across from each other, we've got 2461 and 1, so we're going to multiply those, which is just going to give us 2461. And then we're going to divide by whatever number is left, which is 2.54. So 2461 divided by 2.540 equals 968. Oh, here I'm gonna tell you something about significant figures and intermediate calculations, which is what we call it when there's multi-steps. So 968.8976338. And that's in inches. If this was our final answer, this is way too many significant figures. But it's usually best practice if it's an intermediate calculation, it's a number you get in the middle of doing your calculations, to carry through all of the significant figures. And usually you can just store that number in your calculator, like it's there because it's the latest answer and it's going to be the next number you're using. So you don't even really need to enter it in again because it'll already be there. In this case, I'm going to copy it, and because this is inches and now I've got inches to feet, which is going to give us our final answer, and I'm just going to paste it in here, and that equals some unknown number of feet, and then inches, 12 inches is 1 foot. And just because of grammar, I'm going to change that instead of it saying 1 feet to 1 foot, because that'll bug me otherwise. Okay, so these two are across from each other. This is the number that just popped up in my calculator, and when I multiply by 1, it doesn't change at all. The number we have left, we divide by, so I'm just going to take this whole thing that was already in my calculator out to all those digits, divide by 12, and that gives me 80.7414698, and it's feet because that's where our x was, feet. That's what we want our answer to be, feet. And so now we need to check significant figures. And there's one little tricky thing that happens here. Okay, so you have to go back to everything that you're given and find, everything we've done here has been multiplying and dividing. So we just want the smallest number of significant figures of anything we were given. So our number we were given was 24.61. We also use these conversions, and here we have a 12 and a 1 and a 2.540 and another 1. This 12 and 1 are exact numbers, and therefore we don't need to use them when we're counting significant figures. And so that's true of most conversions that are just like whole numbers like this. If it's 12 inches equals 1 foot, it's exactly 12 inches. We're not approximating. It's not 12.01 inches in a foot. It's exactly 12 inches in a foot because that's how a foot is defined. Same with centimeters to meters. Anytime you have a metric conversion, metric to metric, those are exact. So the times where you end up with sometimes non-exact conversions is when you're going between metric and English units. It happens that this 2.5401 is considered exact, but also it's 4 significant figures, which is already what we had for our smallest one anyway. So the fact that this one's exact doesn't really matter in this case. So anyway, our smallest number of significant figures in any number that we're given is 4. And so we want this to go out to 80.74, and then we look to the right, and it's a 1, the next digit, and therefore we're not going to round up. So we can just get rid of all of that part. And the answer is 80.74 feet. The one other thing that I wanted to review with you is how you end up with these ratios. And the good thing is, as long, it doesn't matter if I chose to make this meters over centimeters, meters over centimeters. If you put centimeters on top, you'll end up with the same answer as long as you keep your unknown in the right place and you keep your thing that's known attached to the right units and the same on this side. So as long as what I was given was in meters and I keep that with meters, I'm good. What I'm trying to convert to is centimeters, and so I have to put my unknown there. And then on this side, I have to attach my 1 with my meter and my 100 with my centimeters. So as long as I do that, and as long as I have the same units, meters over centimeters equals meters over centimeters, or centimeters over meters equals centimeters over meters, as long as I do it either way, I'm going to end up with the exact same number for each step and the exact same final answer.